Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our listeners, and this is a translation of that message. The translation reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post for me my own story? I used to be an illegal gold miner, but now I am into gold buying. When my story started, it was soon after we had written our O-level exams. As for me, I didn't pass, but my friend, he only passed 3 subjects. So there was this other time when we were just sitting at home, and me and my friend, we were just having a conversation. He then asked me an important question. He asked me what we were going to do with our lives now that we had failed our high school exams. I then said to my friend, how about we go to this area in Mutare called Chiadzwa so that we can join the other people that were illegally digging up for gold there. My friend agreed. We then went to Chiadzwa, but Brother Nashi, it was one bad luck after the other. No matter how hard we tried to dig up for the gold, but we were so unlucky. We will only get a few points because we were working as a big syndicate. So anything that we would get, then we had to divide amongst ourselves. That was when I returned back home. When I returned back home, I left my friend there in Chiadzwa. So there was this other girl that I was dating. This girl who later became my wife. She then said, my parents, they have told me to return back to you because me and her, we were relaxing until it was dark. When I took her to her place, her mom chased her out and she said that since you are all grown up now, that you come back home late at night, return back to your husband. That is how I got married. When I got married, I could not return back to Chiadzwa same time because there was nothing for me to give my parents so that they would look after my wife when I would have returned back to illegally dig up for the gold. So I stayed a little bit. When I stayed a little bit, by the time that I returned back, that was when I heard that my friend, he had joined another syndicate. And when he had joined that syndicate, that was when he had opened up a small grocery shop. And I could see that indeed my friend, he was making a lot of money. When I saw that my friend was making a lot of money selling all of this food stuff to the miners, and he was making a fortune out of it, I felt so jealous. And I felt that now my friend, he was far ahead of me, and I was still a poor man who now had a wife. But as for my friend, his life was working out. Then I returned back home. When I returned back home, I then spoke with my wife. We then went to my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, who is a herbalist. I spoke with her. She then said that, oh, my son-in-law, I suspect that you have the spirit of poverty that is chasing you. So this spirit of poverty, it is the one that is blocking you so that you won't be able to get gold, because the spirit of poverty and gold, they do not go hand in hand. What we are going to do is that I am going to take some of my herbs, and you are going to bath yourself with these herbs so that you can chase away this spirit of poverty. So my mother-in-law's brother took me into another room. He was the one who washed my body with those herbs. After that, we then returned back to my mother-in-law's consulting room. Whilst we were in the consulting room, then there was this other young girl who was there. She was possessed by this spirit that started speaking through her. When that spirit was now possessing her, the spirit said that it saw that later on in my life, I was going to become a blood money making ritualist. So for them to avoid this thing happening to me, the spirit suggested that since my friend, he was someone who had been born with a gift of wealth, God had naturally blessed him. The spirit then told my mother-in-law that she was not the one who was supposed to assist me, but her friend, who was also a witch doctor. We then went to that witch doctor friend, and I was told that we had to build an altar, and upon this altar, that is where I was supposed to dedicate the name of my friend, and by dedicating the name of my friend upon that altar, that is how I was going to steal his gift, the gift of wealth. Brother Nashi, I then returned back. When I returned back to Harare, me and my friend, we continued doing what we were doing. My friend, he was having his prosperous business, but I was just struggling. My mother-in-law then told me that what I was supposed to do is that I had to buy something very simple that was not going to make him to be suspicious that this thing that I was actually doing, the gift that I was giving him, it was something that was full of ritual. When I was in town, me and my friend, we used to support the same team. We used to support this team that is called Dynamos Football Club. So I then went to town and I bought 2 football jerseys, and one I gave it to my friend. And when my friend saw that I had bought this present for him, he said, "My friend, this money that you have used to buy these expensive jerseys, you should have taken this money to buy some food for your wife." But I said, "No, my friend, I just thought of you, and I said, let me buy this for you." My friend then accepted the gift. So spiritually, what was happening was that whenever my friend will be wearing his football jersey, then the gift, his gift of wealth, will be moving out of his body and coming into my life. That is when I started to prosper. When I started to prosper, it then happened that I once went to these illegal gold miners. When I went there, I wanted to start a business of gold buying, but these guys, they robbed me. They gave me some metals that were coated with brass as well as fine gold. So I thought that this was genuine gold, but when I returned back to the capital city in Harare, as I was trying to sell off this gold that I had bought, that was when I was informed that this thing that I was trying to sell, it was nothing but iron that was coated with brass and fine gold. So I had lost all of this money. I informed my friend, me and my friend, we then returned back to where we used to dig up for gold. When we went there, we then had a very big fight. As for my friend, when he was fighting with this other man who was an illegal gold miner as well, he has since been arrested. We used to call him Giant. As they were fighting, and I was fighting with the other guys because I wanted them to return back the money that I had given them. Unfortunately, when my friend and that guy that we used to call Giant, when they were fighting, this man then fell down. So when he fell down, just like the ritual that we had done, my friend then died. He stabbed himself with this hunting knife. So as for this hunting knife, at that time when we were doing these rituals, stealing the gift from my friend after he had gone to a prophet, and when he had been told by a prophet that there is someone who is trying to steal his gift, so this prophet then said that this vision that God has given me, it is not quite clear. So I want you to take these stones, place them in your bathing water, and use these stones when you are bathing. After that, then return back to me. So my friend had informed me about what this prophet had told him. I then rushed back to my mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law and my uncle, we then went to this other grave, and this was after I had been told to go and buy a hunting knife. So we went at night, and I was told to stab that grave of a stranger with that hunting knife. So I did. After I had stabbed that grave of a stranger, I left that hunting knife. So whilst we were fighting with those illegal gold miners, that was when my friend stabbed himself, because as that man that he was fighting with called Giant fell down, he fell down as he was holding that hunting knife, and my friend fell on top of that hunting knife. That is exactly how he passed away. When he passed away, later on, my wife's uncle got mad at me. He said that, don't you know that when someone has died, if you do not want the spirit to rise up as a vengeful spirit, you need to take his blood and make him to drink his own blood. But I got so scared. I thought that if I was going to do such an evil act of forcing him to drink his own blood. When everyone saw that he was now dying, people were going to suspect that it was me. But the problems then started to happen. I started to see the ghost of my friend each and every time. When I would see him, you would be like, so it is you that killed me. So it is you that killed me. What wrong did I do to you? Why? I do not deserve this. I do not deserve to die. Why did you kill me? Go and tell my relatives that you killed me. Then the ghost of my friend told me that it wanted to rest. It wanted to go and rest with its own ancestors. But for that to happen, it wanted to punish me. And this is the punishment that the spirit of my late friend wants from me. The punishment is that my own son has to die. He has to be stabbed the same way that he was stabbed in the stomach area. This is the way that my son is supposed to die. My wife has since refused. We then returned back to my mother-in-law, who is a herbalist, and my mother-in-law then said that, I know that you do not want to lose your own child, but there is something else that we can do. So this is what we are supposed to do, Brother Nashi. There is this sister of mine who is working there in South Africa. She is suffering a lot, and it pains me a lot because this is what I have planned for her daughter. I have been told that we need to take the spirit of my friend, and after I would have taken the spirit of my friend, we will then place it on the life of my sister's daughter so that she can suffer for the rest of her life. Then the spirit, it will let go of me, since it will be tormenting the life of my sister's daughter. I do not want to do this, but my mother-in-law and my wife's uncle, they both blame me. They said that we told you that you were supposed to finish off this covenant, but you could not finish it off because soon after my friend had died and after we had gone to bury him, I was supposed to return back to his grave and I was supposed to take some soil from his grave. When I went there late at night when no one was moving around, then it happened that one of my late friends' relative was returning back from drinking beer. He was drunk, really drunk. So he saw that there was someone who was close to the family graveyard. He then shouted at me and he said, "Who are you? What are you doing at the graveyard? Who are you?" I then shouted back at him as if I was a drunkard. He then started to walk in a zigzag way as he was moving towards the place where I was. I got scared. I didn't want him to instantly recognize me. I then ran away and I forgot to take the soil with me. This is the reason as to why my friend's spirit was able to wake up and it started to torment me. But my mother-in-law has since said that if I do not want the spirit of my friend to keep on tormenting me, we have to make a plan so that she can stay with my sister's daughter. When she is staying with my sister's daughter, she said each and every morning I'll be preparing some soft porridge for her so that she can eat. When she eats this food that will be mixed with herb, it will be preparing her body so that the spirit, the vengeful spirit of my late friend can come and rest upon her shoulders and possess her body for the rest of her life and to make her to become his wife. This is what I am supposed to do. But when I look at my sister's daughter, I feel so sorry for her. And as for my wife, she said, "So you want my son to die? I am not going to let my son to die. I am going to tell your sister there in South Africa that I am going to go and take her daughter so that she can stay with us. And after I would have done that, then I'll go with her daughter back to my mom and I will tell your sister that we have decided that her daughter is supposed to stay with my mom, assisting my mom back in the village. But I know that she has a sinister motive. She wants my son to survive, but she wants this curse to be placed upon my sister's daughter." I feel so ashamed of the things that I have done, but when it comes to making money, I am making money. I am still buying and selling this gold. Dear listeners, right there was a narration of a message that I received. It was sent to me by one of our dear brothers. This thing of when one has killed someone, then you force that person to drink their own blood.